what this is a circa 1997 Power Mac 6500-300 I bought off eBay. There's the front cover for it. I paid $15 for this. It actually cost me more to ship than it cost to actually get and pay for the machine itself. It is got a built-in zip drive. It had a 6 gigabyte, not terabyte, gigabyte hard drive, floppy drive, and of course a 24-speed CD-ROM. The back has already been cleared out, and you could hear the noise that little plastic bits have been in all around this thing, because well, I'll show you that in a minute. Up top we have the main board, the logic board, the motherboard, whatever you want to call it. To the left, that is what's called the COM slot, a PCI slot with a riser card. I'll show you the riser in a minute. On the fan, under the fan, is the CPU, a 300 megahertz, not gigahertz, megahertz, 603 EV processor, ATI Rage video chip, memory, level 2 cache card, and of course the back ports, which are your ADB, 2 serial, SCSI, sound in, sound out. You're going to say, well, there's no video out. Well, there is. It's on the board, and it exited out right on the back, right up top. Underneath that was a knob for the subwoofer on these. They had a built-in subwoofer on these machines. That's why they weighed so much. That is the old floppy drive, 24 times CD-ROM drive, and the hard drive is right below that. One of the things I did when I dismantled this is I cleaned it up a little bit, but some of these pieces I will reuse, like the floppy drive. The bottom you can see is in good shape, the plastic's in good nick, everything seems to work. I did power it on briefly yesterday, so I did get the audible chime that it does work and does boot, but you know, wasn't going to go any further than that. I don't have a keyboard or mouse yet. The CD-ROM I'm probably going to keep, although Mac Sales does make a CD rewritable for this machine with the proper SCSI back end for me to use. And the hard drive I'm probably going to trash completely. One, the hard drive and the CD drive, both the plastic underneath them, the sleds that hold them in place, are completely gone. They don't hold it in place. Two, it's only a 6 gigabyte drive. I could pick up a really inexpensive 320 gig drive for next to nothing, or put in a solid state again from macsales.com and put that in its place as well. I'm not sure yet which direction I'm going to go. This is the back plate of the machine, and I'm going to probably get a new one of those. A lot of this I bought off of eBay, and I've bought through Craigslist and stuff like that. I'm not afraid to do it. The machine itself was $15, so give me an idea of how inexpensive you can get into this. And again, this is the back. You can see it's broken on the one side. It's got the knockouts for all the ports in the back, so you knew where to plug everything into, including the 2 PCI cards, and of course the slot for the COM slot item here. The card that came with it came with an extra video card. It is an ATI 3D video card. Not a bad card, pretty nice card. Came with a DB15 and a standard VGA output port. It had, I believe, 4 megs of VRAM, which allowed it for 24-bit resolution at 1024 by 768. It came with a PCI, I'm guessing a 10100 card. This is your PCI riser. So when you put this into the board, here you had 2 PCI slots that set on its side. There you go, like that. This is, for those of you who've never used one, what a modem looks like. The COM slot is basically, it's almost like a reverse PCI slot. Matter of fact, if you put them two together, you're going to see that the grooves on both, you know, the PCI and the almost kind of match up, except that on the COM slot, it was basically for communication devices. I'm probably going to not use this modem anymore. I'm probably going to get a 10100 card for the COM slot. But this is the real big problem with this machine, is all the plastic bits. They're all very brittle. They're all falling apart. It's 20 some odd years old, so there's not a lot there. The main reason for me buying and doing this machine and refurbishing it and reusing it here at home is twofold. One, it had some really cool features, even for now, that a machine built in 1997 had, one of which I'm going to show you in a second. Some of the hardest things to find are the pieces I've come across. The biggest challenges I'm going to face are finding memory. The memory is no longer made, so to find two 64 gig DIMMs that'll fit into it is going to be a bit of a challenge. I have a line on them, I just don't have them yet. The other challenge were things like the video card and the other pieces for it. The video card I solved, and that is with this. This is an ATI Radeon 9200 for the Mac edition video card. As PCI video cards went, this is probably the best out there. It has got video out, it has got DVI out, and of course a VGA as well. So any monitor you would buy even nowadays, flat panel, all the rest of that, you'd be able to connect to this no problem. And again, because it's got 128 megs of RAM, again, we're not talking about gigabytes, we're talking about megabytes, this will power it at 24-bit color no problem. Now, because this is not a G3 or G4 machine, it will not run OS X. So the second challenge I have is finding the OS 9 CDs that'll work with this. Again, got a line on them, I just don't have them yet. The third bit, the reason why I bought this all together to begin with, is this piece right here. I'm going to show this to you in a second. You can hear me opening it up because it's still in the static bag. So the hardest part, and the reason why I wanted to do this particular machine, is because of this piece, which I'm taking out of the bit right now. And that is the Apple TV FM card. A lot of these machines, when they were Performas, came with the TV card built in. Now, this turned the Mac and allowed it to, in a window, view television. If you had your cable box hooked up to it, basically you could watch TV in the corner while you played a game or were on the internet or on AOL at the time, etc., etc. Nothing fancy, but what was neat about it is nobody really offered anything like this. The video bit, the TV bit, was pretty standard. The FM bit, they did not make many of these with the FM tuner. They made enough of them, but they didn't bundle them with that. So that being said, a lot of these machines didn't have that. And of course, this has with it the video card to go video out, which is 3 RCA connections, and I'll show you in a second here. Okay, so it's got 3 RCA connections and S-video, and that sits again on the board back here, boom, and it comes out the back. And you'll see it on the back there for getting video out. So you have video out, video in, and what was strange is this machine wasn't really designed as a video editing machine, but you could do it. Not that I'm going to attempt it on this, but just having those pieces, these are the hardest parts to find for this machine, as well as the RAM, are these two TV FM and the video system. Now there's another piece that was made by a company called Lapis, and Apple packaged it as the Apple Presentation System. This was a way for Apple products like this to go right out to a television or VCR before AirPlay was ever around. I've seen those around, they're available. Apparently not too many people want to take a 20-year-old machine and hook it up to a TV, but it is a possibility. That being said, The spend on this wasn't that bad. The video card was $30. These pieces here, I made an offer, I think at $60 or $75, because these are hard to find, the Apple TV FM system with the video system. And the Mac itself was $15 plus shipping. So all in all, I've spent so far at about $100. Now that sounds like a lot, and for $100 you could do a lot worse, but believe me, I know of a lot worse ways to spend $100. As far as things I need to buy, I know I need to buy at least 2 new drive sleds, one for the hard drive, one for the CD-ROM. The CD-ROM drive sled as well is fairly perished. The plastic, you can see the teeth that hold it down into the chassis are no longer around, and a lot of that noise you heard when I turned the machine over were from those pieces of plastic still rattling around. In the hard drive itself, I'm probably going to buy, if not a new hard drive, at least I might just get a hard drive. I might just do a solid state. I'm up in the air on that, depending on how I feel about what I'm going to be doing. And the rest of it is all pretty much here. This is a complete machine. Right now, I could probably reassemble this. It'll probably boot if I had an 80B keyboard and mouse, which is the last thing I really need to find, because Apple made a ton of them, but no one seemed to have kept them. I just purchased, and I haven't received yet, instead of having the network card and the video card as the 2 PCI cards, because again, you've only got 2 slots, I'm going to go with the video card, the ATI, and I'm going to go with a USB FireWire card. So I might be able to use a more modern keyboard and mouse for this, but I'd rather find an old 80B one just to, because that's just what they had back then. The shape of the case itself, this is indicative of a $15 machine. It's had a rough life, I'm guessing. You could see this, the marks and the nicks and all the rest of that. And I did clean this up with some Clorox and some wipes and some, basically wiped it down, dusted it out, and all the rest of it. There's still more work to be done on this. Or I could wrap this in something, make it look cool, give it like a chrome wrap or a matte black wrap, really murder this thing out. I'm not sure yet where I'm going to go with this. But so far, for less than $100, I've got something new to kind of occupy me with for at least the next few weeks. And then after that, I'll see what happens. If you want, please continue to watch. I should be posting a video about once a week, give you an idea of my progress with this, where we're going, and some of the things we're going to do. And I will try and show you along the way some of the steps I'm actually going to do as I'm doing them. Contact me via here below. Thank you very much.